All right, John.
Hey.
Everybody's back home. Everybody's
Yep.
set back up. We glad everybody could tune in. Some people done jumped on here already. It's Thursday night. The weather's beautiful. Man, it's crazy how nice it is out there, John.
Yep. I went and messed around a little bit this afternoon. It was great. Fish were biting. Excellent.
Good. I know it's kind of cool in the evenings, but I know it's been pretty good.
Yep.
I think it's been I don't even know what it got up to today. The 70s.
Yeah. Well, we had a pretty good breeze. So it was, I actually took my jacket out on the boat just because I got kind of concerned that it was going to get cooler, but it didn't. I think it was like 76, 77, but our water temp was like 54.
Yeah, it's still cool, I guess, from that cold spell we had. Chad Bull said, "What model Ranger did John get?"
I hear you. It's a 521 VX, but the VX is just got the driver's console. We were able to find a console for it and added it. So I guess technically, if you bought it the way it would have been that it is now, would be a DVX, which stands for dual.
I got you.
But
what model is that thing, John?
It's an 04.
04. That's right. I was thinking 03. Put you a new motor on it from Andalusia, so
I did.
So that's what he got, guys. Paul Foster's tuned in. Tony Tucker, Scott Seals. Been good to see these familiar. James Trott, all these familiar names now that we're back on Facebook. But John, my personal Facebook is still running slow. I guess they punish you for a little bit longer than a month because it's crazy. I imagine it takes months. They got it drawn back. So
South Isle Brim fishing legend in the house.
There he is. There's Jonathan. Steve Gonalves. How's it going, buddy? I know Texas is way cold on here. Appreciate old Wade tuning in.
Jonathan Grissett, he works there at Andalusia Marine. He goes by Goob at work, or everybody that knows him as Goob. He was wide open today, rigging boats and working on boats. When I went by there, let's just go ahead and talk about it. Andalusia Marine right now. It's springtime. That phone's ringing off the hook. They've got people coming there getting their boat service ready for this warm weather, ready for that first the brim to go on bed. Crappie to go to the bank. But if you want to get in there right now is the time. It's just going to get busier and busier at Andalusia Marine. If you want to do a Yamaha repower or get a new boat, holler at my buddies there at Andalusia Marine. Heck, they've been good to both. Shane's got some stuff from there before.
Oh yeah. I was on a 36-volt battery, a Dakota. Yeah. Shannon calls. I got one. I took out of one boat, and I was like, just hang on to it. I'll be right on. Got me a deal on it.
Yeah.
I actually ordered me some speakers for my boat, John.
Get back.
Yeah, I sure did. I was thinking, man, I talked to a buddy of mine that runs, side by sides. They serious, and he said, "Look, man, don't just order you a sound bar that goes on one of them." He said they're waterproof, dust proof. Some of them's got built amps in them, so I'll order me one of them to.
You gonna need me to wire it for you?
Man, I think it won't be no trouble. I think it's just gonna be one little wire. I think it's gonna be one little wire, and but it lights up LED and all kinds of stuff. I've just got to figure out where I'm gonna mount it. So.
Oh, if it'll go to a bar, you can put it on that bar.
Yeah, but the only thing is that bar is curved and the mount straight. But I could put a piece of flat bar up there probably and do it.
I don't know.
I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's a 500-watt speaker. I was like, man, we'll see how this thing. I mean, it's a 30-day return policy. If I get it and it ain't worth the crap, heck, I'll. But we're gonna be spending some time on the sandbar or down that way and all kinds of stuff. I got some buddies trying to talk me into going to mullet toss, so I don't know if that's right.
Hey, what was the name of that place that you were telling me about?
In Mobile?
In Mobile. Just see if anybody's
I
heard
want
of
to
it.
say blackbird or black. It's a black. I want to say blackbird or bluebird or it's some sandbar down there by the Mobile River by the bridges. My buddy and them go down there.
Huh.
I don't know about it. They run them mud motors and they hang out down there. I need to ask Scott Mitchell. Scott Mitchell would know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tony Tucker. What does the Focus do on the Garmin?
That is definitely a Shane question.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly. It's like the Focus on a flashlight. It really is. It kind of. It's not a big improvement, Tony, but it does help. I think I run mine on 145. I think it goes up to 300. So, I mean, but I run it on 145. It does, it does focus a little bit, but most of the time, I'm sure it's not tons of difference between the auto and the manual. But
I don't mess with Focus. That's one thing I do not mess with.
Yeah,
that's why I said this.
Yeah, I know. I've looked it up, and people running on 145, and that's what I need to update mine because mine's got some beam things going on, and I need to. I haven't updated my unit since I bought the thing. So, Wade wants to know what that speaker costs. What did that speaker cost? $500, I think.
Ooh. But
it's got 2 8s, John, 2 mids. It's got 6 speakers in it, I think.
Oh wow.
But heck, we'll see. It's 500 watts. I'll post it on here whenever I see it's but I didn't want to have to wire speakers and drill holes and do all that stuff. I just want, if I can mount a light bar on it, talking to the people that run the side by sides, I mean, they mud ride with them and they last there. It'll last on my boat. So.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I'm. Let's see. There's my dad tuned in. Mike Kilgo tuned in. We got some people jumped on here, man. We got some beautiful weather. Man, like we were saying when we first got on the show, I mean, it makes you want to get outside. And I think we're supposed to get a little bit of stormy weather next week. But
it's going to blow next week.
Yeah. It blew today, John, up here.
It did. This afternoon, I went out there and you definitely had to go into the wind this afternoon. It was coming.
Right.
But I looked at the future forecast for this upcoming Wednesday because I had somebody wanting to go mess around, and it's calling for like 16 to 30 on next Wednesday.
That's rough.
I'm not about that life.
Ooh, that's rough.
We went through enough of that on our little trip out west.
Yeah, I would. Scott Seals is saying, watch the school Sunday that would push down the bottom and spread out. You could pull down there with 1/8, about a foot off the bottom. They would nose up and eat it. Yeah, that happens a lot, John. We were talking about it. Actually, when you pin them down that bottom, I think you got a better chance of getting them to bite sometime.
When they go down to the bottom and you see them coming back up, they're ready to fire when they come back up.
Right. They do that little old float down, and then when they and then you catch them coming back up. But, we had to do that a little bit in Florida, and catch them pinned down. But yeah, hey, you learn all kinds of stuff, Scott, as you go, man. You'll learn. I mean, I learn something all the time. You're like, what? Okay. You'll learn another trick to put in your deck, and then you throw it out there, and it may work, may not. So this week of warm weather, we'll have them ready for the spawn. Yes, it's gonna get them ready. I guarantee you. But like John said, the water's still cool. The water's still 54 degrees. So.
Yeah. Which everything I caught today was female. So
yeah.
And I was offshore, but I just got this spot that I go every year of this kind. It's where they just kind of stage up and get ready, and the water's real muddy, trashy here, which is normally always muddy here, but they were right where I wanted them to be. I was, I haven't fished here around the house since back before we left to go out on our trip, so it went good.
There you go.
Oh, Shiloh's got the flu. He's sick.
Oh man, that go.
Yeah. He sent me a message earlier. He said it was whooping on him pretty good.
Dang.
Yeah.
That sucks. I know that stuff's going around. Just, I think
Wade Cole's gonna be fishing where I'm fishing tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
You're not gonna know it's me. I'm gonna be on a different boat. I'm gonna be undercover. Which it's hard to be undercover around Wade. He helps me put out brush piles and stuff, so he kind of knows. He kind of knows what's going on.
Yeah. Heck, y'all fish the same territory, same water. Derek Russell. This question for Shane only. How do you organize all your soft body jigs? I know you have a ton. Derek, listen to me, man. I actually threw all the stinger tails in one bag, a Ziploc bag, and my and the fat babies, different style baits, just in another, because man, I get to whipping through them, and if I got a color I'm catching them on, I just throw it on the front deck, Now, John always uses monkey milk. He's been using a lot of different colors this year, though. Don't let him fool you. He's been using some different stuff, some big baits, and just experimenting. And but yeah, Derek, I just put them in Ziploc bags, man. I'm just, it gets to where you're hot on a color yourself. You have confidence, and it's really not the fish are just biting that only color. It's just, hey, like last weekend, and I might as well go into this. We were John's mentioned this before, and when we were in Florida, Friday we had a real slow Friday. We caught 20 fish or so, and seen some, not a lot. And Saturday when we got out there, but we were eating dinner over at Rob's, drinking beer and carrying on. And I was like, man, these fish are coming off the bed. This is Florida, guys, coming out of the weeds. Some of them's coming out. Some of the females are going back up. And I was like, man, they've got to be eating bugs and everything else. And John said, hey, man, you need to be throwing something white because of bug larvae and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, so I found a baby bass color that Wise Choice makes. It's just an off-white. I mean, it's just a plain Jane looking jig, and I sprayed the tail chartreuse. First pitch in there Saturday, the first one swallowed it. And I looked at Derek, and I was like, oh, here we go. And, hey, I gave some to Neil, and we went to beating on them, and that color change really helped us out that day. But I think the males have been up there really getting down, and I don't know if they ate any bugs or not, but I know that white really picked it up for us. We cleaned a lot of fish, but I mean, just having conversations with John and having conversations on CrappieKast and all that stuff, really I was like, hey, I'm gonna pick this white jig up, and people throwing mealy worms for them and stuff over the years. But yeah, that kind of saved the weekend for us. We went to whooping on them, but man, I don't have anything organized, Derek, at all. They're in Ziploc bags, man.
I like what Derek said. This is solely for Shane.
Because, hey, John only uses 2 jig heads, 2 monkey milk jigs. Hey, they got you. Oh, let's see. Tommy Randolph, my buddy Tommy's tuned in. Yeah, Chris Wiggins, Derek is saying one of the worm bags in the binder. I have one of those too. But, man, I just started using Ziploc bags where I can see them in there, and I ain't got to sit there and flip. I can look in there and say, oh, there's the sunburst, or there's the, the Miraball or something, monkey milk, whatever colors, you just reach in there and grab them. So,
put what Tim's up, man.
Wade's partner will be back in the boat tomorrow. It's finally warmed up enough for him.
All right, Tim, we'll believe it when we see it, bud. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's awesome. It has been it's warmed up, man. I mean, all the it's gonna get some people out of the woodwork, guarantee you. James Trott, you look at Wise Choice Jackal, they're on Facebook, James. That's some stuff I use. Danny Wright. I would have had some laying around here, but I threw them all in the boat. But we got Bama Baits and Greg. I've got piles of those too I use. Then I go through several of them. So.
Greg started a website now.
There you go.
Yeah, BamaBaits.com.
There you go.
We had a special treat today at Andalusia Marine. Bill Lawley brought some summer sausage and some snack sticks by the boat dealership. I think everybody had a big time enjoying that. It was a treat. Thank you, Bill.
Oh yeah, they're good, man. I've ate them till I've been sick.
Yes. He has got it down to a fine art making that stuff.
There you go. That's exactly right. Well, I still got that discount code. Thank you, Danny, for putting it on there, James. He put it in the comments. Save you 15%. Hey, put John 15 in there. They got all the colors. I mean, the Fat Baby profile is really good to me.
If you really want to save the money, go get that Farmer 16. I'm playing. That's just a joke. That's just a joke.
Oh man, I'm glad to see everybody back on here, man. Whole Ronnie McKenzie's tuned in. Jason's on here. James Lassie had a spawn. Yeah, the spawn's been happening, James. When I was down there a few weeks ago, the water was 69 degrees, man. I caught some on the bank in the weeds. I'm sure it's not over with yet. An old man told me they'd be up there 20 days, and it's probably about, spun out. But I caught some females last weekend. Excuse me. And they were still full of eggs. But I think those females, John, go up and lay eggs, come out. Go lay eggs, come out to, I guess, whenever the need hits them. I don't think they go up there and stay,
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know the biology part of it, but I know these fish were in 18 foot of water, through to 8 foot deep, and they were running. And then I caught some on the weeds because when I got down there, I went out there on the pier and threw off the pier and caught 15 off the pier because I called John. I was talking to Neil on the phone. I was like, I lost a big one. He's like, I'm going to go down here and play around. It was cold. It's 47 degrees. The wind was blowing. I mean, it was nasty. But Saturday got better and Sunday was better. So. But I think those fish down there, John, in Florida really like the sun. 100%. They love the sun. The sun affects them a ton down there. You get overcast, they ain't jiving. But that sun, I don't know if it's the tannic water. The water's dark. I don't know what it is, but they really like the sun down there. I've learned that a lot.
Oh, I'll be right back.
Go ahead. But heck, we caught plenty of fish, man. I cleaned a pile. Looking forward to catching some fish up here.
Oh,
sure. I know they've been catching some big ones in Grenada. I know that. I think the biggest one I seen was a 375. I got.
Grenada. Oh my gosh! Who caught that?
I seen Grenada Charters post it. I know Patrick Stone and him had another 354. He had a 367. Corey Williams caught a 310 up here by the house yesterday. Excuse me. That's a big fish. It was a big hybrid. I guarantee that tournament this weekend, somebody's going to crack a 4-pounder. I guarantee you.
I hope so. I love seeing those fish.
I like seeing those fish too.
We didn't. Nobody caught a 3-pounder on our trip. I was shocked that didn't happen, but because we fished some places that it probably should have been done.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica, she had the big fish of the trip until the last day, and I cracked the biggest one of the trip. It was a 278.
That's a big fish.
Yeah, it was. That's
a big fish.
What was crazy, I could have thrown a baseball over at Derek, and when I hooked up to the fish, I was like, ooh, so you just feel that heavy weight, and I guess I go ahead and tell this. It's kind of funny. Jessica got mad about it, but so I saw. I did not see the fish forecast on, or I asked her. I wanted a flavored water from the back of the boat, and I'm running the trolling motor.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, I'll get you one. She goes to the back of the boat, and I'm on the trolling motor. I look left, right, and I see a big fish. I was like, ooh, that's a good one. So I cast on it, hook up, net it, land it, and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's probably gonna be the big fish of the trip. And sure enough, I weigh it, and it was. And she had some real nice choice words to say to me. You sent me the back
she
of the boat.
John spotting that fish and sent her to the back of the boat.
Yeah, she said, you saw that big fish. You sent me the back of the boat. I was like, I promise that it did not happen like that. But you know how that goes. You can't convince her any other way after that. So, but yeah, that it came down. That was probably the last 3 hours of our trip. We were gone a good long while. So
Tommy's throwing you under the bus too. So he said, "Boss lady, it sounds like a made-up story."
Absolutely.
Oh man.
Yeah, she's still telling it that way, that I sent her to the back of the boat after I saw it.
Yeah, that's a big fish. 280. There's a white fish, wasn't it, John?
It was big whitefish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Carwell's tuned in. Man, I appreciate him tuning in. From YouTube, we got people tuned in. We got 67 people. Last week when I was in the truck, I could see real good. Everybody couldn't see me. So
Yeah.
Hey, we're back home. Everybody's back home and getting ready. I think we're probably a lot of fish pictures will be popping up this weekend, I imagine. Damn, Tony Tucker said it took 2480 to win on Clark's Hill last week.
Wow.
Yeah. 7 fish, 2480. That had to be.
That's probably a 2-day tournament. Yeah, it was. No, that was been 10. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. It might have been 2 days.
I think it was NCL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shiloh got the fluke.
Shiloh told him.
Shiloh, you was going to come on here and talk about the 330, and you can't even stay well enough, man. What's up?
We want you to come on here and talk about the big fish.
I'm not going to tell you what to go get because I'll get banned again, Shiloh. So.
Just don't talk about that.
I've got some in the cabinet up there.
Let's don't even mention it, Shane. I mean, you're still on probation.
Oh yeah, they still got me cut back. They got me throttled back. Shiloh said next week. Good. Maybe he'll. Tony Tucker said it was 10 fish. The way 20.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was 5 and 5. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding, James. Hush, Shane. No kidding.
Still pretty awesome. It's 240 something average,
Oh yeah, they got some giant fish up there in South Carolina.
Still banned by NCL, so I wouldn't know.
He asked about who got. I see where old Crappie Jesus has been on Grenada too, busting them.
Yeah.
They weighed in. I think Jameson. He made a video, and I think I seen Hayden and Eric and all them over there. They got the tournament starting tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I wish that Hayden would go out there and just fish and see what he could do against the crowd. But I'm sure he's not going to want to try to. He's a competitor. He's not going to mess those guys up that are out there. He's going to be running guide trips and stuff. So
yeah. Shallow said, "See the weights at Kerr Lake in Virginia." 17 something on 7. Ooh.
That's strong.
That's strong too, Shallows. Jeez. 320 something big fish. That's giants.
He's feeling better. He's on. He's in toppy mode.
Yeah, he's typing away. I hope he's getting better, man. I don't wish that crap on nobody, man. Being sick. Yuck. Make sure ain't Brian Grace tuned in. Appreciate Brian tuning in.
What's going on, Brian?
Yeah, Brian. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any comments. I can see them loud and clear today, buddy, because last weekend I didn't. So. Bobcat's Crappie Trail. That's who it was. It was old, what's it called now? That one that bought Eric's boat. His old boat. Uh-oh. That's a mountain rancher down here.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Okay, man, Bobby's his son.
Whitlow.
That's the trail. Yeah. I met them at the Crappie Expo. Nice people. I think he's got a tackle store up there, don't he, John?
Yeah.
He does. Let's see here. I'm trying to make sure we ain't missed no questions. I mean, who's all fishing this weekend? That's what I want to know. I know Saturday. I'm planning on going Saturday. It's a toss up. Sunday I got a party to attend, but
I am. Both days.
There you go. Yeah.
And tomorrow.
And tomorrow. I don't know what the wind's supposed to do tomorrow. What's the wind supposed to do tomorrow?
It's gonna be good. Yeah, it's gonna be good. All 3 days, or it is for me here in South Alabama. So,
yeah. It's
Yep.
Chad working on auto deploy system for the power brakes. I know he is, James. We've talked about it. I don't know when he's going to come out with it, but Chad, they do a lot of research, and they put them on people's boats and try to break them. It takes a while before they put out a product, because they don't want to be.
Chad has sent me stuff before. Like he's like, I know you'll put it to the test, and if it breaks, it breaks. You just let me know how it performs.
Exactly. Yeah. It'll be a while, James, I'm sure.
I've got one thing that he sent me. I've been running for a while, and he hasn't started producing it yet, but it's worked great for me. And I've told him, I said, this probably all should start doing that. Putting it out.
The same apparatus you've had on
Yeah.
the other.
Yeah. And so he's probably like everybody else. He's trying to keep up, I mean, it's hard to find, Chad wants to put out a great product, at Power Brakes, and he doesn't want to just hire just any old Joe to do it. So he's having to get good employees and try to keep up with his demand, because he's doing well with it.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's for sure. Yeah, he won't put it out to us, right? That's right, James. Chris Wiggins said he's going to hit the ferry tomorrow. Well, the ferry ought to be getting better, I'm sure. I know it's been high, and I know Ashton was talking about the river down there on his end's probably been. I imagine the river down south has been bad, All down the Tensas, I guarantee you that has been up, son.
I didn't realize we got as much rain here as we did while I was gone because, man, that water is nasty here.
Yeah, I don't know how much. I mean, heck, that's 4 or 6 inches of rain fell that day, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's blowed out. Trash in the water. That got muddy. But, hell, I've been messing with this new bait that Steve at Limits Tackle made for me.
Yeah.
It's been great so far. Y'all shoot me a message if you're interested in it. I don't know if I'm going to tell everybody about this machine. It is something.
Yeah. I really don't.
I'm not trying to be funny about it, but it's like they can see it better in muddy water.
I get it.
It's weird.
Is that the bigger bait you're talking about making?
No, it's something different.
I got you. Just a profile. I got you.
It's just I don't know. I'm going against the grain. Using
proofs in the pudding. I mean, hell,
I will tell you all this. I got a video of it. I haven't put it out yet. So Shallow and Tim went to a lake before I did, the day before I did, and it was real muddy. But the fish were up high floating. And so Shallow and Tim, they were, long pulling the fish. And Jessica and I got there, and I saw those fish were up high floating. And, we want to cast. We don't want to long pole. Jessica and I want to cast. And I had bought some of those 6 cents panorama baits. I don't know if anybody's seen those. They look just like a shad.
Yeah, they're thin, flat.
They're real thin, y'all. So we rigged them flat, almost like a flutter spoon, and with a thin hook, but a bigger hook. I can't even remember who made the hook. But anyway, I was casting those things and keeping them right. The fish were like a foot under the surface, keeping them real high and a lot of vibration on them. And I guess because that bait was flat and I put that vibration on, those fish in that muddy water could recognize it, and they come up there and smoke it. There was probably, on this one boat, on this one lake we were fishing, there's probably 30, 40 boats out there fishing. Everybody long pulling us up to us, and we're catching the hell out of them. I mean, we're the only ones casting out there. But the only thing about those baits, they're kind of wide. If you get a little wind, it kind of catches the wind.
Yeah,
like a kite. And
dart off to the side.
Yeah, but it worked out good. I did one little video. I was messing with Shallow, and I caught a fish. I said, Shallow said we couldn't cast to him. Here you go. Just picking at him, I sent it to him.
Danny, Danny's saying Shiloh's sick. Both you guys are getting skinny. What's up? Pick yourself up. No, man, Danny, I'm tired of toting that weight around, buddy. I'm done toting that weight around. I've been heavy for a few years, and I made my mind up at Christmas. That was it for me, Jack. So
I guess your knees start telling you, you know.
Well, I'll tell the whole story. I climbed a tree stand and got to the top of the tree stand, right at Christmas, and was out of breath. And I haven't bow hunted a lot here in the last couple of years, and I kind of shook my head. I'm like, hold on just a second, man. I'm not that old yet, and I was out of breath and thought I was going to have to go back down, and that was it for me. And it kind of hit the wall there, and want to change a few things, and I still weigh 245, so I'm not near as skinny as people think I am. So, hey, we dropped 40 pounds since Christmas, basically almost. So, I'm gonna drop about another 25, probably, and you won't be able. I'll be like a little kid bouncing around. So y'all get ready. But yeah, that's what it was, Danny. I want to get a little healthier mentally and physically, and believe it or not, man, you do fish better. You fish better. Your knees don't bother you running the trolling motor as much, and I just get around the boat better, and I want to be able to pick up them big coolers full of fish. So I still go to the gym. So that's the thing. Those fish in Florida, you load a cooler down with them, son, you better get ready to bow up.
Yeah.
Let's see, what's Scott asking? Does anyone put out a transducer pole that will disengage if you spot lock to what he wants?
Yes.
Somebody makes one. Who makes that pole?
Yeah. They got one that's got. Man, Scott. Shoot me a message and on Messenger, and I will get back with you on it, because Andalusia Marines actually put some on some boats and so.
I can't remember the name of it either, John.
Yeah, and it's actually got a gear that goes on it, and you can lock it into place and unlock it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Shoot me a message, and I'm sure somebody's on here has probably got one.
Yeah, there's 82 people tuned in here. Somebody's got one, I promise you. Scott,
matter of fact, Brian Gray might know.
I can't remember who makes that one, John.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it right now.
All aboard, Brian Gray just said it right there.
Yeah, there's that one.
Cornfield, James got one. James said Cornfield Crappie's got one.
Okay.
Cornfield Fishing Gear, whatever they name themselves. There you go, Scott. Look up that stuff. I know Charles has got that. What's that mechanical one that turns that Derek and them run on the boat just to search with?
I don't know.
I can't remember the name of that dang thing. It blanked. Golly.
I got some messages saying I want to know about this new bait.
Oh yeah, the phone's starting to ding, 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 ding. I don't even know what it is. He's probably told me and I forgot.
I don't know. I told you yet, bud.
Oh, you ain't told me. He probably had.
It's like the transducer.
Yeah, like the flipping the transducer over the center. Hey, let me tell you something. Boy, I lit them fish up because of that this weekend, guys. When I turn that thing to the inside, whoa, hey.
I got to give that up. I stole that from Shallow.
When that thing's lined up like that right there on your shaft, it's setting straight off the end of it instead of offset, instead of like this. And what you don't realize, John, is this guy beside you, when he throws across the boat, instead of going a few feet across that beam, he's in line with that beam almost the whole time. That makes a lot. It makes a big difference. We turned Neil's around. Me and him went and ate. We went and ate lunch Sunday, and we turned his around after we got through fishing. And Sonny Mooney said, "Who makes the rod holder?" Power Breaks makes it. It's called it. What is it called? It's a third hand. It's called Third Hand, but it's named after me, Sonny.
I think it's just Shane Jones' Third Hand.
I think it's Shane Jones' Third Hand. That's the little hook that you can rest your rod on. They're machined aluminum. You can't hurt them.
I couldn't have one because I kept hitting it.
Well, you really need one, Sonny, because you will hit it if it's not positioned right. But it does help you when you got that long rod. You can lay it on your lap and lay it on there, and that's what they are. They're Shane Jones Third Hands. That's what they are, Sonny. You look on Power Break's website, you'll see them. They sell a good bit of them. I've seen people do that too. Make some out of TIG wire and washers. Yep, sure can.
Well, the good thing about the ones that Chad makes is they've got some grip to it. So when you tighten them down, with your knobs.
Yeah, it fits in there good. That's right.
And it doesn't slide. Yeah.
It doesn't slide. It doesn't spin around. It's got the rubber coating on it. Don't scratch your rod all up. That's what Brian said. The olive board will do auto sand also. Okay. Let's see. Two Fisted Adventures. Hey, gentlemen, we're still catching blacks fish in schools. They're up in the column. Sunning in warmer water on Lake Wiley, casting 16 plastic and hair. We enjoy the show. Thanks, man. That's what we were doing in Florida. That's what John's still doing too, I'm sure. They still schooling down your way, John?
No, I'm catching singles.
He's soloing it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that's because the water's muddy as crap.
Yeah, they got them scrambled. That's right.
Yeah. When that water gets muddy here, it moves them away from each other. The band can't stay together. Where is he at? What state?
Lake Wiley. Isn't that South Carolina?
I don't know.
I'm not sure if it's Lake. I think Lake Wiley's in South Carolina. I'll have to look it up. No, we still on for May on Weiss. Yes, sir.
Yes. Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend, the end of May. Exactly right.
We're
North Carolina. He said North Carolina, South Carolina. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, that's where I knew it was up
a lot
there.
of feedback on the on that weekend. I think it's gonna be good. CrappieKast get together.
Oh yeah, we got fish fry. Heck yeah, man.
Weiss Lake.
Matt Shambliss said, I put the Dominator mount on last night in line with the trolling motor. Does the trolling motor head get in the way of the beam? No, it does not. If you got it pitch right, it doesn't. It kind of look, you think it would be, but it doesn't. Because it's beaming forward instead of down. Now, if you try to click it down, Matt, yes. But nobody uses down scan that I fish with. So,
well, and if you got that right, the mount, the Fish Obsessed mount,
you got to realize this thing. I don't have it loosened up. Matter of fact, I'll loosen it up. Heck, I'll show you how to do it.
It sticks out enough that it gets it away from the trolling motor head.
Yeah, it can pitch up. I'll loosen it up where we can. It's got notches. I'm trying to get it to move. I ain't loosened it up enough yet. It's got notches where it goes up and down. Like I said, you can pitch it there.
The biggest thing is the forward part of it. It sticks out away from the shaft.
Yeah. So your shaft's here, guys, and it sticks out here, and your transducer's setting out like this.
There you go.
It's setting at an angle, and it reads off that 45-degree script. You'd think we'd be sponsored by these guys because we sold them. I remember when we first got these things, we were telling everybody because they're not cheap. They're bill aluminum. They're tough. I mean, this thing gets knocked around everywhere. But I've got mine about like at that angle right there. My trolling motor don't go real deep in the water. I should have ordered a 54 and I ordered a 50 when I bought the boat. I didn't realize my boat was going to float so high. So I have to, had to click mine up a little bit and mount mine towards the bell. But Dominator mount, Fish Obsessed, great mount. I mean, I can't find a thing wrong with it. I know that. And everybody runs them, likes them.
So I want to bring this up. I mean,
go ahead, John. I'm about to float away.
It's unfortunate that CT Ward there, and Camden, they aren't in the marine business anymore. But that opens a market, for other boat industries. So if you were a customer there at CT Ward there in Camden, Alabama, and you need your Yamaha service, you need to come down to Andalusia Marine. We had a customer come in today that had bought a boat over there, and that's where they were getting their service work done. If you were getting your service work and your Yamaha work done there at CT Ward there in Camden, come check us out at Andalusia Marine. they'll take care of you. Had a guy show up today this morning, got there at 9 and left. Was able to go eat lunch that quick, having service work done on his boat. Just call and schedule it if you need something done.
Yeah, they're top-notch people down there. You know, if you happen to know John, it really helps you a lot. So you mentioned you mentioned the show. Hey, it helps you a ton. I mean, it really does. I mean,
shoot me a message. I'll be glad to break that ice with them. And because a lot of people don't want to just cold call to a boat dealership. They want to.
No, if you're associated, that's exactly right, John. Well, I was told you the other night. Mike Letkins that owns Thomasville Grill. We were down and staying in Thomasville, and he was like, "Hey, come by the fish camp. We're gonna drink some beer, cook some tuna, and fry some shrimp." And I went in there, and one of the guys was like, "Hey, man," he was asking me about a certain boat, and I told him, I said, "Hey, man, if you're gonna spend that kind of money, you don't want to have that narrow front end. I'm not gonna name the boat, but off record, me and John will tell you the truth about everything, but on the show, we're not going to do it. But, and I told him about it. I said, you need to go see Andalusia. He's talking about fishing in a bay. I said, man, those express boats, you could get a 23, 24 footer, get a 200 on it. Get it rigged up. John will have to hook it up for you. Have to show you how to use it.
Yeah.
If you buy one from them. So,
Shane told the guy, say, hey, holler at John, and I you can call him directly, but if you don't want to, holler at me and I'll get you started. We had a guy from Bainbridge, Georgia, just yesterday, the same situation. He's like, man, can you just find out what you can do? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'll talk to him. And
you're spending, man. A boat like he's talking about $60,000, man. That's a lot of money. You don't want to go on on a whim and all that stuff. And John and I, when we started this thing, we was like, hey, man, we done spent that money. We didn't have to resell it. We done been in these boats, been in that boat. And if you may want something totally different than what John and I fish out of or anything, but we can tell you how our experience is on certain boats and rigs, and that way. You got that hard-earned money, and you like what you like,
That's right.
And, you go down there and get you a boat and rig it up, and you're like, and those guys are going to get you what you want. I mean, that's just, you want it. Hey, old Corey Newby's tuned in. I ain't talked to old Corey, and I need to call Corey. He's tuned in. Ashton said he bought him a fiance, a 10-foot lady outlaw, I guess the pink one at Carter Outdoors in Grove Hill.
Good deal.
Yeah. They carrying them down there. I spent a few days down there in Thomasville and earlier this week. But that old fella, he said he's going to be buying a boat. He couldn't stand it. It was crazy when I got there, John. I got there, and me and Mike talk all the time, and some of those people I didn't know, and I promise you, it was like I got on the couch, and they started bombarding me with questions because they're just getting into live scope, and me, I don't know. My buddy Jonathan's kind of looking, and I'm just answering questions, and I was kind of like overwhelmed because it was like 4 guys asking me different stuff. I'm just like, because they're all getting into it because they've been with Mike, And it was kind of crazy.
You see what Trot said?
What's John? I'm never buying anything again until I call John. I hear you, man. Hey, that's a good idea, man. I mean,
Trot's he's got his stuff set up like he wants it now, though.
There you go. Congratulations. But like I said, man, it's not that John or myself's a know-it-all or anything like that, man. But you talk to enough people in this crappie industry, and you've been on enough boats, you're like, man, you don't want to do that. And you may have not thought of that aspect of it, like, oh man, I didn't think about that, And like a lot of people want to put stuff on a pole, and you tell them the pros and cons of the pole, and then and then it's just a lot of people say I ain't gonna run brakes, and they're like, why do I need brakes? It's a total game, a total package. Do you have to have all that? No, but it does make it a lot easier to get on fish and put people on fish, and but nothing makes up for time on the water. John will tell you that too. time on the water and time on the water, time on the water. You run that trolling motor and put it in front of enough fish, you're gonna get better at it. I promise.
Especially if you'll go in bad conditions, it'll make you better. Make you better in good conditions.
That's exactly right. You get out there, and and
Jessica and I, we were gone. For those of y'all didn't hear last week, we were going out to Texas. We fished Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana, and we had bad weather every day but one day.
mm-hmm.
And that was the last day we got to fish. And of course, we did better the day we had good weather, but we still caught fish the whole trip. But it was because we had fished in bad weather before. Because there was people, that were out there, and we came in with some of those, or met some of them, like, we didn't do anything. We didn't catch anything. I'm like, well, it was a bad day, but Jessica is somebody that's fished with me all the time. She's fished in bad weather. It's not just the person running the boat; it's the co-angler too. They have to be used to, like, hey, the wind's blowing real hard off the nose. Maybe I need to cast a little more left because the wind's coming off the left. Things like that you just learn by fishing in bad weather, or running the trolling motor in bad weather, how to counteract that kind of stuff. And that's just time, is what that is. It's nothing to do with. You can't buy that. You can't watch enough YouTube videos to get.
No. That's exactly.
Do it
that is 100% correct. You're not gonna, I had some guys come up to me Saturday and was like, "Hey man," and it was kind of funny, John. They were like, "We can't get these fish," and I set the hook. I said, "What?" He was talking. I caught 7-8 fish talking to him. I said, "Look, man, they're being aggravating. You can't pay attention. What I'm doing here, but I'm having to shake the bait a lot." I told him. I said, "Look, I'm having to move that bait a ton to make the fish react." And I told him straight. He could sit there and watch me do my rod. But a lot of them, 85% of them are being buttholes. That's just the way they are, when they're schooled up. You can't ever tell. But Travis Hudson tuned in. He caught some good fish the other day. Him and his son, Nick. Slab Buster, he's on here. Let's see. Johnny Carwell said, back in the 50s, I made my crappie hooks out of safety pins using 60-pound sewing thread, and a grasshopper was my live scope. I hear you. There's been a many fish caught on grasshoppers, buddy. That's exactly right. James Lively said, nothing beats seat time and frustration. Hey.
Yeah. You think you got it figured out, and you go out there and start the next thing is second guess everything you thought you had figured out.
Yeah, man, you can't. It's a different tune every day. Brandon Johnson said, y'all fish Lay Lake any for crappie? I haven't been there in a while. I know Ray.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. It's a good lake this time of year during the fall and winter. Post spawn, or I'd say going into summer, it gets tough.
Yeah, summer it really does.
September, into September, it's rough. It's just a mostly black crappie lake. You'll catch some whitefish on lay, but
like Travis said, there's some big ones there.
There is, but it can fish tough.
It can. A lot of fish. Mitchell's great. All those lakes are good up there. Chad Gillen's tuned in. Chris Wiggins. He said, Travis Hutch, you done killing deer. Travis's wife killing deer. Travis's wife's having a hell of a season, man. She got third place in the big buck contest. I ain't talking about women division either.
The whole show.
Yeah, the whole show.
Man, I felt bad. Squirrel season is still in until I think the 2nd of March. Creek shot him one in the yard, and he broke it down, and we went to tracking and doing everything we could to get it yesterday or day before yesterday, and we didn't get it. He was mad. Boy, he was mad because he had put the stalk on this squirrel himself. It was kind of his own little deal. So, but I'm glad to see him wanting to get after it.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, I've killed a mini squirrel when I was a kid. Whew. And I haven't eaten one in a long time. Man, I hadn't skinned one or nothing, but I'm not beyond it. I promise you.
We were already planning on making some jigs out of that one's tail, but it didn't work out. It won the battle. The thick yopon in the pine thicket won the battle.
Yeah. If you turn your transducer up a click to see your jig, does it affect anything else?
It can. You do it enough, it can certainly affect your pitch angle. You can get too much, and it it can affect the way it looks at the bottom. That thing's got some adjustment in it, to correct itself. Like I know with some of the 32s, I would have to actually manually set the pitch angle when they would get out of autocorrect, I guess you would say.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but with the 34, it's been pretty good to me. I'll click mine up one, and I can normally see my bait hit splash. So
that's right. You told me that when I got the 34, you can't run as steep as you could the 32.
That's true.
But there's a sweet spot in there, Sonny. You get to where you can see that thing splash, and you can see your line. You'll see your line drooping. And that's when you got it tuned in. What's great about that 34? John told me that jig's bright, that fish is bright. That fish is either going to move out of the way or bite your jig. I mean, that's a fact. So.
Yep.
Sure. Let me make sure. Somebody was asking about Jordan. Oh, Johnny Carwell, was anybody fishing? And Matt said my cousin been catching some big ones on Jordan and Martin.
I've seen some fish that look like they came off Jordan lately on some people's Facebook. So I think that's where they came from, but they didn't post it that way. They didn't say
the Alabama River.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to necessarily say that, but I've seen some fish I believe that have come off Jordan lately. But
Jordan's got some big blackfish too.
They do. It's not what it was about 4 or 5 years ago, but hopefully it'll get back to there.
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's yeah. Matt said they've been catching 2-pounders on jerkbait. Say them big crappie, they're not scared of a jerkbait, buddy. I'm telling you right now, they are not.
Chad, if you ever want to see a humbling experience, go to Jordan and you'll find out the true Coosa turn.
Oh yeah.
Jordan's one of the toughest lakes for blackfish. As far as attitude wise, that there is. You got to do everything the right way.
Yeah, I know Lay's bad, but Jordan's even worse than that. You're saying so?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Hey, I need to tell this story, John. Derek and I were on a boat in the FWC, the Florida Wildlife Commission. Young kid that works down on Lake Talcott. He takes like surveys. He pulled. I seen him a couple of weeks ago, and Neil and I did. And he come up and he's like, "Hey man, I've talked to you before." I said, "Yeah, you have." He goes, he says, "How many fish you got?" I said, "We got 36." He said, 36. I said, "Is that a lot?" He goes, "Man, a lot of people struggling." I said, "Man, we've covered a lot of water, a lot of fish." And he said, "Man, I've never seen that live scope run." And I was like, "You know what? I'm going to get you to tie your boat to mine." And he's got a little old flat bottom boat, the 50 on it. I said, "Tie it to mine, and I'll show you how this thing runs." So I got the Florida Wildlife Commission boat in tow, and I'm taking off chasing schools. And the first 2 fish I throw on John eat it up. And I try to tell him, and we went through another couple schools, and they were being buttholes. And I told him, I said, "Look, one of the reasons I wanted you on my boat before they try to change all these regulations, they need to get on somebody's boat that knows what's going on." Because he's like, "Man, there's a bunch of fish out here." I said, "Exactly." And I he let me, he said, "Man, I'm going to sit out here and watch y'all the rest of the evening." He just sat out there and I said, "Man, you want some fish?" And he goes, "Huh?" I said, "You want a dozen fish?" He goes, "Man, I've never eaten crappie." He's a big deep sea fisherman. I'm like, "Man, hang on." So I get it. He gets a sack, and I fill him a dozen. I said, "I'll catch another dozen." I got my limit of 50 now after this time. And I said, "Hey, go eat them." And he texts me. Super nice kid, man. But I wanted to let him see that. And but it was a cool experience.
Huh.
Florida Wildlife Commission.
You're probably better than me. I don't know why I let him on the boat.
What's that? Oh, he was a cool kid, man. He was fired up. I took his picture with some, and I tried to get him catch one. He was like, no, I was like, well, all right, man, See what Ashton's saying. Have you fished heads with spinners or crankbaits or any other bait that requires a steady retrieve on live scope? I thought some little rattle traps.
The way that I cast is a steady retrieve. I mean, I'm casting past them and coming above them.
Yeah, you're not stopping that bait, Ashton. That's the key to catching those fish. Don't keep it moving. You can slow it down, but it does not stop.
Yeah, I don't want to drop straight on them. I want to bring it over them, and then keep them turned up.
It's crazy.
I had a guy fish with me Monday. He'd never really crappie fished before, bass guy, and he was doing. Sometimes he was just sitting there taking the crappie for a walk. Fish had it in his mouth, and
go hit him, boy.
Yeah, I said, "Hey, bud, he's got it."
You gonna hit him?
I didn't feel anything. I'm like, "Trust me, go ahead, lean back on him." And sure enough, he's like, "Man, this is the weirdest thing in the world." I was like, "Yeah."
You call pressure bite,
Yeah.
It's a pressure bite. You go to reel and you feel that rod go, huh? And he's got it.
I said, and I said, these are all black crappie, so it's going to be like this. That's just how they operate.
It's crazy how a 2 pound, well, in y'all's case, y'all catch some big fish, can come up there, hit that bait, and you cannot feel them. It's crazy. You sense it, you lean, you go to reel and that rod loads up,
Yeah, we had our biggest was a 288 that day.
Yeah. Y'all catch some big ones. Travis said you hit Jessica with another jig and you won't be able to fish anymore.
Man, that was crazy. That was me doing dumb stuff like I always do. I was trying to boat flip a big fish and
shot out, pow.
Yeah, jig popped out and it just penduled him all the way back and hooked in the back of her jacket. I was like, oh, I'm glad it didn't go in her ear. I never would have heard it.
Oh, Lord.
It would have been terrible.
Things like a little bullet.
It was. But what was crazy, I went to boat flip the fish and I was picking up on it and it just shot it. It was enough to shoot it up and make it go straight up in the air and come back around and get back in her jacket. And I had it all on video. Amazing.
I didn't see that. I had to watch it.
Yeah, it's on TikTok.
Oh, okay. I got you. Let's see. Ashton said, I've seen some YouTube videos scoping at night and heard some tournament guys talk about on Crappie Connection the other night. He said it makes your casting more accurate because you know where you are. I don't know, man. I don't go out at night. I'm sure it can be done. It's got a night mode on there.
Well, if you run the trolling motor, I can see it would make you more instinctive.
Yeah, because you know where your foot position is as far as the clock. That I do that anyway. John does it too. You can just throw without even looking up where the head is once you do it so much. But because you kind of know flats 12 o'clock, push it down 1 o'clock, a little bit down, it's 2 o'clock, 3. You know when you go with your heel, that's going back to the other side of the clock. 11, 10, 9, 8. But it's got a night mode on it. You can turn it on night mode because right at dusk dark, it goes into night mode automatically.
Yeah, I will say that when you first put it in, seems like there's more maybe zooplankton stuff that's up before, and it affects the actual picture. You get more particulate, more return, so you have to adjust your screen. So I would definitely say go out there and mess with it first before you I know, like Jessica and I have been sitting there in the mornings before a tournament, have it on and waiting for, lines in. And as the day goes or it gets daylight, the picture gets better. But you could adjust some of that out with a gain and stuff. But you're going to have more flash at night. So.
Dustin saying, Lay Lake Sunday Classic this Sunday on Lay Lake. If anyone would like to fish, love to have you all. Big Ray loves the competition.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Will he beat Aaron or will Aaron beat Ray?
Yeah, that's right. Both of them fishing against each other. That'd be the two to beat, I'm sure.
He's got Aaron's had his number, so we're gonna see.
Yeah, I see when he's been catching some fish. So. Well, this hour's blown by already, John.
All right, man. I'm finna eat some supper.
Yeah, I got to cook some salmon. I'm starving like Marvin. I done legs at the gym tonight, and I'm hurting already, starving. That's why I had to go pee. I've been down in this gallon of water every day. That's the hardest thing. I can do the eating part. That right there is awful. You know it. That drinking that water and that amino acid stuff, that's it's part of the game, though. But hey, man, love you guys. Appreciate all y'all again. Thank all our sponsors. Thank y'all for tuning in. All these people. Avery Pruitt's tuned in here late. This thing's recorded, so you can go back and watch what all we talked about. Feel free to do so. I'll share it on several different pages. Appreciate you, John. And I hope Shiloh gets better. I know he's sick. And I hope you guys catch a bunch of fish, man. We'll be back next Thursday. We'll talk about what everybody done over the weekend, what John done over the weekend and the next week. And we'll talk about, what won at Grenada. I'm sure they got that big crappie Masters tournament that starts tomorrow. So
I'm saying over 30 pounds.
Yeah.
2-day tournament.
2 days. Oh, yeah. They're going to sack 16, 17 pounds.
Yeah. It's gonna be some weights.
Yeah. They've been catching some big ones. But
I don't know, man. It's going to be up there.
those fish are just different, man. I mean, they look so funny when they hold them. Their head hinges away from their belly. You're like, God, don't even look right, They grow so fast, the genes and everything in that water. So, but we'll be back live next Thursday. I'll try to go. I'm going to try to go catch some Saturday. Like I said, I got a little party to go to Sunday, but I'm going to give them hell Saturday. Don't know if I'm going to the ferry. Don't know if I'm coming up here. If I go to the ferry, I'll be sure to post some fish.
If I lived up there, I know where I'd go.
That's what I'm thinking, John. I may sniff around tomorrow evening because 310 kind of got my attention. So, and the last year, you come up several weeks after this. You come up here a little bit later than this, but we caught that 286 last year.
I came up right. It was before this.
Yeah.
Because they had
that's right. That's right. Because we caught that 286. Harold did in my boat after you came up.
That's right. No, it was before. It was before.
That was before. Then you caught a 306, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I may sniff around up here tomorrow evening. It depends. I got a little bit of work to do tomorrow. Make some phone calls in the morning. And but I'll tell you, I'm blessed. This crappie fishing's led to the job I have and the people I associate with and a lot of people I've met friends-wise. But, dude, I'm blessed. I mean, I promise you, being able, catching all those fish with my buddies last weekend. Now I'm ready for a fish fry because my boss was on my butt because I didn't have any fish. I got it done, but I'm blessed. I'm glad to be here. Let's get off here. I'm going to cook me some salmon. Everybody enjoy the night. Spend time with your family. Angela Tyson, tune in. Appreciate you tuning in, too. Thank y'all for sharing, guys. I appreciate y'all, too.
All right.
We'll be back next Thursday.
See y'all.